And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we get ready to go racing under the lights in race number 4 of Season 4 of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. Tonight, it's the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 at the D-shaped quad oval Atlanta Motor Speedway. If we're going to be basing this season, the main event races off of the qualifying races the night or the day before, we're in for a very interesting Atlanta race. In last night's qualifying race, we saw 2 cautions, but we saw 4 different wrecks in the span of those 2 cautions, especially highlighting the first caution of the evening, which saw the initial wreck bring out the caution, and then under pacing over in turns 1 and 2, 2 different areas of the field end up having their own wrecks, and there were about 10 to 12 cars caught up in incidents that took place all the way early on lap 3. So hopefully these drivers here tonight, for the charter drivers, they were keeping an eye on what took place in that race, and they're going to be hopefully bearing that in mind, that in order to finish this race, they're going to have to really mind their P's and Q's. The setup, the way the track conditions are tonight, with grip at an all-time high, with the cooler track conditions, and of course the CTS physics allowing for a tremendous tow and draft, these drivers will be tempted to put their cars 3 and 4 wide. And with 42 cars taking the green flag, that could spell trouble early on in this race. So it could be one of 2 different Atlanta races. It could be an Atlanta race of survival, trying to keep the car in one piece, but also Atlanta has been known for very good fuel strategy races as well. Let's hope it's more the latter than it is the former. On the pole position for tonight's race is going to be J Thibodeaux in the 33, a rookie last season. This season, though, off to a great start in his second full-time season with Northeast Motorsports. 3 starts, 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s, an average finish of around 12th place, and that translates into him coming into this race 6th in the overall standings. He's looking for his 3rd career win in that 33 car. Alongside of him is going to be Dylan Young, who was a 3-time winner last season. Dylan Young's also gotten his Season 4 career off to a good start. He's 8th in the current points coming into this one, looking for his first checkered flag of Season 4. Coming into this race, the point standings, we will give that to you in just a moment when these cars roll off. The 3 drivers so far that have won this season, that have locked themselves up playoff spots, and I say locked themselves at playoff spots in quotes because there is one driver that we have to asterisk, and we'll get to that in a moment. But T Wright is locked into the playoffs, provided he stays in the top 30 in points with his win in the Daytona 500. Ryan Butcher ended a long winless streak last week at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, so he is locked in, provided he stays in the top 30 in points. Butcher jumped up 23 spots in the standings last week, up to 23rd in points, so making some great forward progress with that early win. And then, of course, Chris Dallerton, our winner from Manassas. He is in the field here tonight using his 4th championship provisional. 4 of his 5 champion provisionals are now gone. He is going to have 1 more championship provisional at his disposal and then have to qualify his way into at least 5 more regular season races for his Manassas win to count towards a spot in the playoffs. We'll get to the point standings, and then we'll also get to some of our previous winners in the field in just a moment. But for now, let's go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports, and get these cars rolling off the grid.
Drivers, start your engines.
And to see the full starting lineup for tonight's race, you can check down in the description below. Jack Mitchell, who was the regular season champion last season, he is your points leader coming into tonight's race, as that 0-1 sits atop the point standings, 5 points over Ryan Brommer. Chris Dallerton, non-charter driver, is 3rd in points. He's only 9 points out of the points lead. Michael Norman's currently 4th. He's 11 points back. 12 points back in 5th is Adam Garcia, who spent most of his career down in the cellar of the point standings. J Thibodeaux is 6th, a pole sitter. Carson Gum, a former winner here, we'll get to that in a moment, but he's 7th in points. Dylan Young is 8th. Levi McIntyre currently 9th, and Cole Baker in 10th. 25 points separate the top 10 in the standings. All 3 of our previous race winners here at Atlanta Motor Speedway are in tonight's field. Jesse Turner was the inaugural winner back in Season 1. Carson Gum took the checkers here in Season 2, and the defending champion of Season 3, Carter Friesen. All 3 drivers are in the field here tonight, so will we have a repeat winner at Atlanta, or will a 4th driver etch their name into winner's circle here at this D-shaped 1.5-mile track? 3 drivers making their debut here this evening: Taylor Gerdes, Brad Stover, and I forgot the other one. Arthur Xavier in the 24 as the green flag is in the air. Let's roll at Atlanta. Okay, 3 wide back there already. Cole Baker up on the top side. That's Jesse Turner on the bottom, and James Qualls, the Castrol GTX Challenger, in the middle. They're going to go 3 wide up here towards the front as Dylan Young got shuffled out of the line by Cole Deaver. Benny Watson's going to force the issue on the inside line. He's got Matthew Rodriguez with him, and Dylan Young, all of a sudden, he's waving bye-bye on that outside line. No grip, no friends, no draft. Jacob Thibodeaux, in his career, it only took him 3 races last year as a rookie for Northeast Motorsports to find victory in lane at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He followed it up with a second win in one of the heat races back at the Chili Bowl. That's now Jordan Lopez, the defending champion of the series. Looking to the inside of William Brock for second. Lopez comes into this race 22nd in points, trying to lock himself up a spot in the playoffs to battle once again for the championship, and now will be 2 former champions side by side. Ryan Acosta, the Season 2 champion, will move by for second place. Cole Baker, who we saw on the outside of a 3-wide situation earlier on, has been able to get to the bottom. He's now up inside the top 5, trying to hold off the 09, that Kings Island Chevrolet Camaro of Kyle Mathews. One thing that's making me nervous, they're 3 wide all the way back here, but they're giving each other room. But I'm seeing an awful lot of cars darting in and out left and right, kind of dancing around, trying to figure out where they want to be. And sometimes it's those kind of aggressive moves, if everyone's not on the same page, that leads to a wreck. Mentioned that Carson Gum is a former winner here from Season 2. He's now on that inside line, following in the tire tracks of another former winner, Jesse Turner. So the only former winner of this race that we have not seen up at the front yet is that 37 of Carter Friesen, but give it time. We'll see him up here momentarily, I'm pretty sure. James Qualls now going to move into 3rd place. Vince Almariego there behind him. The Western Autosports Chevrolet Camaro. And then Jessica Shelton, the Kana-chan car, just behind as well. Now moving into the 4th position around Carson Gum. There's last week's winner, Ryan Butcher. And our current overall points leader, Jack Mitchell, following in his tire tracks. It's like the highest running of our non-charter drivers. Back there is the 69 of Taylor Gerdes. He's got Brad Stouffer and Chris Dollerton there with him, so those 3 making some forward progress. Stover and Gerdes here in their Duracell Cup Series debuts. Chris Dollerton, of course, making his 4th start of the season, the former champion from Season 1. As the battling's been on for 2nd place, not seeing a whole lot of challenging for the lead going on here, and Jacob Thibodeaux's not minding that at all. As now Mitchell's going to make it 3 wide. James Qualls may have brushed the wall there going into turn 1. He almost got put up into it, courtesy of Vince Almariego. Got crowded up as Mitchell now going to move into the 2nd spot. Jack Mitchell looking for his first victory of the season and first win since Darlington of last year that got him into the playoffs. And Brad Stover is going to be the first non-charter driver to crack the podium. He's now up to 3rd. Chris Dollerton moves up to 4th. Mention the fact that Chris Dollerton has made all 3 of the races so far this season through championship provisionals. In all those races, he has not transferred his way in race-wise. He's had to transfer his way in provisional-wise, which means he has started 42nd in every race so far this season. But he's been able to translate that to a 13th place average finish in those 3 starts. So while he qualifies towards the back, he does a heck of a job finishing towards the front. Case in point, Manassas, where he took the checkered flag in a chartered race as a non-chartered ride. Most winningest driver in the Duracell Cup Series, now up into the 3rd position, the Aquafina Ford Mustang of Jose Millz. Millz last week, a great run at Las Vegas, moves him up 14 spots in the standings, up to 12th place is now Dylan Young, who started outside of the front row. He's now back into the 3rd spot, and don't look now, we may have a battle for the lead on our hands Rookie Brad Stover has done a tremendous job of reeling in last year's rookie J Thibodeaux. But now Dylan Young with a good run through 3 and 4, going to make it a battle for second rather than a battle for the race lead. Michael Norman back there, the Hot Wheels Ford Mustang. Already mentioned that he comes into this race 4th in the point standings. It's the best start to the season that he has had in his Duracell Cup Series career. And there's Samet Ozkan in the 70 car. Samet Ozkan, last time out at Las Vegas, qualified for the race after winning the LCQ non-charter event and brought it home with a top 10 run. Subsequently moved up 13 spots in the standings. He's 29th in the points right now, so if Samet were to go to victory lane here tonight, we would be talking about both he and Chris Dalwerton as potential non-charter drivers that could be in this season's chase for the championship. Taylor Gerdes has now moved up to 3rd place here this evening, with the fact that Gerdes, Xavier, and Stover all made it. All entries for Bulldog Motorsports, Haas Racing, and Northeast Motorsports are in the field here tonight. And Dylan Young is going to get to the inside of Jacob Thibodeaux, and it took us till lap 14, but we have our first lead change of the night at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now, one thing that we do when we have those non-charter races is we get an idea as well of what the fuel window is for these drivers. But based on the fact we had those 2 cautions in last night's non-charter race here, we don't know how far they can stretch it. We had a couple of drivers that were able to run the entire 33 laps on what they had in the tank with the aid of the pacing laps. So my assumption is we'd have to look towards at least maybe halfway before these drivers have to think about making green flag pit stops. Benny Watson, the 75. 91 of Charles Belding, trying to work their way to the front. Belding 21st in the points. Benny Watson 11th, just knocking on the door of a top 10 in the standings run. As he almost got into the back of Dylan Young. You saw the difference between a car with no draft and a car with draft, how fast they're able to approach the corner. And do we have a slow car? We do. Johnny Gardner in the 14 off the pace. Seth Cole in the 25 as well appears to be off the pace. Seth Cole, the winner of the non-charter event here last night. We're expecting to see a lot of speed out of him, and Johnny Gardner comes into this race 32nd in points. And just listening to that car, it sounds like he's down on power. Sounds like he's down a cylinder. And we saw last night that slower traffic played a huge factor into the outcome of that race. There's a huge difference between drivers that are running by themselves off the pace and drivers up here in the lead pack. I mean, right now, Dylan Young going through the corners, 188 miles per hour. Johnny Gardner on the front straightaway at the start-finish line is only going 182, so that's 6 miles per hour difference. That says to me that it's not just draft that Johnny Gardner's lost. That car sounded pretty sour when it went by us there in turns 1 and 2. I think he may be down on power. Could be an electrical problem. Could be down a cylinder. As some juking and jiving for 3rd place. Matthew Rodriguez had it. Jessica Shelton ducks inside, crosses him over, and will take that 3rd spot. As Charles Belding hounding Dylan Young now for the race lead. Jacob Thibodeaux back there 3 wide, trying to go back to the front. Keith Batson back there in the 39 car. He needs a good run. Finished decently last week at Las Vegas, but it only gained him 8 spots in the standings. He's up to 35th in points. He's looking to continue forward momentum there. There's Cole Deaver in the 08. Of course, looking for his first career victory still. Several rookies went to victory lane last year. Deaver was not one of them. He's 24th in points. Did not have a good run last week at Las Vegas. Dropped 11 spots in the standings. And we're going to stay up here at the front just in the fact they're reeling in that Hunt Brothers Pizza Dodge Challenger of Johnny Gardner. Now, it looks like they may catch him down here in 3 and 4. That's a terrible place to catch a slower car. So where do they go? And they're going to have to go down this crooked front straightaway, trying to pass the 14, as Thibodeaux is going to use the 14 as a pick. And Thibodeaux is going to go back to the race lead. Jessica Shelton looking to the inside, 3 wide for second on Dylan Young. Looks like everybody, for the most part, is going to do a good job getting around that 14 car, but he's going to get trapped in the outside line, which is going to trap everybody else in that outside line. Charles Belding's up there. James Qualls, Phil Parker, Charles Sandfer, everybody's going to be trying to migrate their way down to the middle lane. Qualls is going to let Belding in. That was close. Looks like they're all going to do a pretty good job getting around that 14 machine. Hopefully with no incident, as Thibodeaux back to the top of the board. Shelton moved to second, but now Keith Batson's going to try and take that spot. Thought for a moment there Batson might have checked up through the center of 1 and 2. It looked like Shelton was getting a little bit of an advantage on that top side, but now the inside line kicks back in. Batson will move to second. Jordan Lopez there in third. It's a Ford Mustang train on the bottom. The 38, the 39, and the 83. Chris Dollerton there. Cole Baker in the Toyota also there, as Shelton may have brushed the wall just a tad. These drivers are going to catch Seth Cole, I think, here momentarily as well. You saw right there the 25 just exiting out of turn 2. So they did a good job getting around Johnny Gardner. Let's hope they can do an equally good job getting around last night's charter race winner. Seth Cole's making only his second start in the main event this season. His first start was not a good one. Started 39th, finished one position better, 38th. And right now he is running 41st in tonight's event after he started from the 37th position. Jordan Lopez looks like he wants to maybe use the 25 as a pick. Seth Cole's going to go down and block the inside line. Jacob Thibodeaux's not going to be happy with that. And now Thibodeaux will get to the bottom of the racetrack there. Chris Dollerton's going to put Jordan Lopez in the middle, 3 wide now. That's going to be a battle for second. Saw the speed out of Brad Stover last night. His teammate Matt Haas right there in the M&M's Pretzel Toyota Camry. That's now moved up to 4th place. Deaver now into 5th, and top 5 are now clear of lap traffic as Michael Norman, William Brock, and others go to work on the Liberty University Chevrolet. And we're getting into that window now. We've gone green flag for 26 laps. We're getting into the window now where these drivers are going to have to start considering coming to pit road. Now, the ideal lap for these guys would be able to make it at least a lap 32, maybe 33. That would put them just past halfway and ensure that they can make it the rest of the way on fuel. But let's remember, in last night's race, yes, they made it 33 laps. Some of these drivers did on 1 tank of fuel, but they also spent about 7-8 of those laps running at 55 miles per hour under pacing, being able to shut off the engine and save fuel that way. These guys here tonight have not been able to save fuel at all. They've been full throttle pretty much this entire race. And do we have pit stops here? And oh, we got a wreck! Dollerton up in the wall. William Brock. These drivers were considering coming to pit road. That's what led to that wreck. Caution's going to fly for the first time tonight. Oh, man. Drivers were indicating they were coming to pit road. Those that were staying out were trying to move up to give them room. The initial contact started between Dollerton and the 83, William Brock and the 88, as these drivers here, not sure if they're going to get penalized. They're coming down a closed pit road, I do believe. I think the caution was out before they hit pit lane. Mitchell Collins, however, was on pit road getting service when that caution came out, so this is really going to shuffle the field up. Zach Rogers, Ryan Butcher, Jack Mitchell, Jesse Turner, Cole Baker, Jordan Lopez, Matt Haas, Patrick Smith, all on pit road here. Taylor Gerdes, Johnny Gardner, as well as pole sitter Jacob Thibodeaux. The leader was Cole Deaver at the line. Now Brad Stover is ahead of him, so I'm not even sure that the drivers know who is where with the timing of that yellow and everything that took place. But now all these drivers are going to hit pit lane, so I don't know if it's going to cycle Thibodeaux back to the race lead or not. It should put the 22 of Mitchell Collins back on the lead lap, but he may have to restart in front of the race leaders, so a very untimely caution for the 22, who was trying to maybe jump the gun with fresh tires by short pitting. Well, hopefully the NNSCRA officials can get all sorted out, and when they do, we'll come back and tell you what the running order is. For now, let's go back and see what happened to bring out the caution for the first time here tonight over in turns 3 and 4. And there it was right there. Teammates Michael Norman gets into the left rear quarter panel of his teammate Chris Dollerton, sends him up the track into William Brock. They were 5 wide there trying to get through this. Oh, Daytona 500 winner T Wright gets some contact with the right front. Charles Sandfer. Ryan Brommer, second in points, got collected. Phil Parker's going to be able to sneak through. But Chris Dollerton's night may be over with that. Not based off of crash damage, but you see all the rear end damage there. He came down pit road and they could not fuel the car. He has hit the wall so hard it has pushed in the fuel intake area where the gas can is supposed to engage. They can't put the gas can in. They can't fuel the car up. So Chris Dollerton could very well end up running out of fuel before he's able to get back around another lap. They're trying to see if they can repair that car enough to be able to at least put fuel into the car. But Chris Dollerton, who came into this race third in the points, this championship provisional here tonight, there's he right there, just pulls into his stall and had to pull back out. They could not engage the fuel can. So Chris Dollerton's night may be over, and it would be his first DNF of the season in the 4 races that he has made via championship provisional. Well, Dollerton did make it back around. He is sitting in his pit stall, so the crew is going to work here on trying to clear away the sheet metal around the gas can area. That's their goal right now, I think. It's just to fuel the car up. They can work on crash damage later on. And we do officially now know who is where after that caution coming out. Jacob Thibodeaux is going to be the race leader when we go back green, although I thought that they came down a closed pit road. Second's going to be Matt Haas, Jordan Lopez third, Jack Mitchell fourth, Zach Rogers fifth. Then Turner, Baker, Butcher, Gerardis, and Smith going to be the top 10. These were all drivers that came to pit road just after the caution came out, so they cycled out to the front of the field. Johnny Gardner, Seth Cole, 1 lap down. We'll start on the inside line. Drivers out of the race. William Brock in the 88 will finish at least in the 41st position, maybe 42nd if they can get the 83 car out there. If Dollerton cannot continue, it would be Brock 41st and Dollerton 42nd. Of course, for Dollerton, he's got to keep himself up there in the top 30 in the points here with this victory, or at least make 10 regular season starts, so don't know which one he would be more inclined to go for. Mitchell Collins, you see in the 22, that damage on the left side of his Mobil 1 Ford Mustang, had to make an early unscheduled stop just before the pit stop began, fell a lap down. He's right now on the tail end of the lead lap, ahead of race leader Jacob Thibodeaux. This should be a very interesting restart, as we are now halfway through this race. Lap 33 of 65 is when the green flag is going to come back out here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Talk about drivers that have really just been struggling this year. And we're only 3, now 4 races in. William Brock coming into this race, 37th in the points. Average finish of 29th place in his first 3 starts of the season. And a DNF here tonight, potentially 42nd dead last. Boy, we could end up having ourselves a caution right now, as there's battling for position here between lap machines. And battling for the lead between lead lap machines, Zach Rogers, the Bang Energy number 6 challenger, is going to go to the race lead. And as soon as I say that, Cole Baker is going to stick him in the middle. Baker is looking for the top position. Brad Stover now looking to take the race lead, trying to become the first rookie to find victory lane here in Season 4. Oh, we got a wreck. There were 4 wide back there, middle of the pack. And a huge wreck in the middle of turns 1 and 2. It was hard to tell who was involved, but there were many of them, I guarantee you that. As Stover is going to bring us to the caution, followed by Mathews and Llamas. And Jack Mitchell, the overall points leader, was involved. Matt Haas was collected. Former Atlanta winner Carter Friesen got a piece. And the pole sitter Jacob Thibodeaux. Well, we mentioned about the fact that these drivers were going to force the issue tonight based on what we saw in the non-charter race. And we're seeing it here. You can't go 4 wide and not give room, and that's exactly what happened back there. Let's take a more in-depth look as we're under caution for the second time here tonight. And will cautions breed cautions at Atlanta? In the second half of the race, that could very well be the case. This was in turns 1 and 2, and you can just see they're 4 wide. It's Adam Garcia on the bottom, Carter Friesen in the middle, Matt Haas above him, and then Jack Mitchell, the top side of the 4 wide situation. And oh, it just starts with the 23. 23 just pushed up. Never got on the apron either. Forces Friesen up into Haas, who then clips Thibodeaux, and Jack Mitchell nowhere to go. And look at the 33 of Jacob Thibodeaux up and riding the outside safer barrier through turn 2 all the way towards the back straightaway. You see the black smoke erupting from underneath. Undoubtedly some fluid coming out from underneath that Circuit City Chevrolet. That's going to be flowing down the track there. And so race officials and the track crew are going to have to do a lot of work here to make sure that it's not going to be slick for these drivers going through the first 2 corners. But you can see Matt Haas, his evening is over. Jack Mitchell, his evening is over. Matt Haas came into this race 36th in points. Needed a good run, not going to get it. Thibodeaux, we already mentioned, the pole sitter, 6th in points. And Jack Mitchell, the points leader coming in. Friesen, a former winner from here, the defending winner from here back last year in Season 3 as Thibodeaux's car, unfortunately with the high banking here at Atlanta, caused the car to barrel roll down to the inside. And I don't know what it is, but Atlanta has not been kind to the pole sitters here this weekend. R.J. Bishop was the pole sitter for the non-charter race, and he ended up on the end of the hook. Thibodeaux, the pole sitter for tonight's charter event, is going to suffer the same fate. Big wreck here, violent wreck, bringing out the second caution of the night here at Atlanta. Let's go back for the green. Going back green, drivers out of the race after that one were obviously Matt Haas, Jack Mitchell, and Jacob Thibodeaux. Carter Friesen's been able to continue. He's still on the lead lap. The only other driver out of the race up to this point is William Brock. Multiple laps down, Chris Dallerton, Mitchell Collins, and Seth Cole are 1 lap down apiece. Johnny Gardner decided to stay out under that yellow, so he is still behind the pace car, but ahead of race leader K Mathews, who won the battle off of pit road. Brad Stouffer was the leader coming to pit lane, but the 09 team picked him up a spot, so Mathews will be the leader going back to green, with Stouffer in second, Cole Baker, Dylan Young, and Benny Watson your top 5, followed by Ryan Butcher, Cole Deaver, Cody Llamas, we haven't mentioned him tonight. He's up in the top 10 with Zach Rogers and Jesse Turner, your top 10. Couple cars back there. Cole Deaver and Cody Llamas have got some damage, I think, from pit road incidents, so we'll see how that affects them. As the green flag is back in the air here at Atlanta, we're closing in on 20 laps to go. Gardner back in the lead lap. Collins back in the lead lap. Cole about to be back in the lead lap. Now they're praying for a quick yellow. As now Cole Baker looks to the inside for the race lead. And he will get it. Now he'll put Seth Cole back a lap down. Baker to the point. Dylan Young moves to second. Ryan Butcher looking for 2 in a row. He's now up to 3rd. Brad Stover now to 4th, moving Mathews all of a sudden back to 5th place. And they are stacked up behind them. That's the 83 of Chris Dallerton that's holding up these guys. 3 wide, 5 rows deep. And Dallerton is just trying to figure out where to go. He's tried the bottom, he's tried the middle, he's tried the top side. Seems like wherever he goes, there's a line of cars behind him. And James Qualls is the one that's really getting hurt by this. Zach Rogers as well. Jesse Turner, who was up in the top 10 when we went back green. So was Rogers. They're now fading outside of the top 20. Ooh, and there was some contact right there between Jordan Lopez and Taylor Garrett off of turn 2. Some damage there on the 77 of Patrick Smith, I just noticed. GameStop Toyota had a track where arrow equals speed. That's not good. And we're 3 wide for the lead. Benny Watson, K Mathews, and Cole Baker. This all going on behind the 14 of Johnny Gardner, who right now is being scored in the tail end of the lead lap. And as soon as Watson moves up, here comes Shelton diving to the bottom. She's going to go to the front with help from R Acosta. Here comes Levi McIntyre. He restarted back around the 20th position. He's already up to 3rd. And I'm very worried with the fact that we saw just how off the pace Chris Dollerton is. He's still out there on track, trying to gain every point that he possibly can, and he can gain some points. But with Matt Haas, Jack Mitchell, and Jacob Thibodeaux out of the race, he can run enough laps and move up at least 3 positions, and every position is a point. But I'm a little worried if these leaders end up reeling him in, just how slow he is. Oh, I'm getting flashbacks to last night. McIntyre, though, out in front. Samet Ozkan now in 2nd. Highest running non-charter driver. Finished top 10 last week at Las Vegas after taking the checkers in the non-charter race at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And the battle's going to be for 2nd place, Austin LaPlante. To the inside of Benny Watson. And I hear an idling engine. That's Charles Sandfer in the 0-3. There were a couple of drivers just before that caution came out that are somewhat off the pace. Sandfer is 1. Oh my goodness, Matthew Rodriguez into Levi McIntyre. Oh no! They saved it! They are 5 wide. They're 4 wide at the front. How did they save that? How did they save that? I have no idea. We should be under caution. We should be under caution right now. And we're not. As Matthew Rodriguez takes the lead. I cannot believe that happened. Rodriguez drove it deep into the corner. He wasn't going to lift as McIntyre checked up for the slower Charles Sandfer. McIntyre got hooked onto the apron. Rodriguez went down there as well. McIntyre slid back up the track into Charles Sandfer. We're going to show you this all via the split cam, but I'm just describing it right now. He slid up into Sandfer. Sandfer went up into the wall. McIntyre somehow saved it, and after all that, Rodriguez went to the lead, but now he's lost the lead to Jordan Lopez. McIntyre is back to the 5th position now. Rodriguez back to 7th, but I still don't know how we aren't under caution. They were 5 wide for a brief moment exiting out of turn 4, and somehow we are still green. But going back to what I was going to say before my heart went up into my throat, Charles Sandfer and R Brommer now a little bit underpowered. And there is Brommer in the 9 that they're catching up to. I don't remember seeing either of them getting involved in a wreck, so I can only assume this may be some mechanical problems for both of them. And for R Brommer, he came into this race 2nd in points, so it seems like a lot of drivers up there in the stands have had some issues here this evening, as Lopez with teammate Levi McIntyre, they're going to make way on the inside line, moving to 1st and 2nd. Jack Mitchell, the points leader, out of this race. R Brommer 2nd in points, just got put a lap down. Chris Dollerton is multiple laps down. He was 3rd in points. Jacob Thibodeaux 6th in the standings. He is out of the race as well. So a lot of drivers that came in running really well in the points. Doesn't look like they're going to be up there when we leave Atlanta. So what about the drivers that are capitalizing on these situations? Well, Michael Norman was making forward progress. Now gets kicked up to the outside. He's now about to fade out of the top 10, but Norman is 4th in the points, 11 points out, so maybe look at him if he can finish this out inside the top 10 to maybe be the new points leader, or possibly the 23 of Adam Garcia. Damaged and all, still up inside the top 20, trying to take 15th from Samet Ozkan. He was only 12 points out of the points lead, 5th in the standings coming into this race. And right now, the only former winner from Atlanta, the inaugural winner back in Season 1, Jesse Turner, seems to be having a decent outing. Carson Gum, he was up here at the front, but he has faded back, and Carter Friesen, of course, has that damage from getting involved in that 4-wide situation wreck that brought out our 2nd caution of the night. Oh, they've caught Charles Sandfer again, and this time it's coming out of a corner. That car is badly off the pace as Lopez is going to get around him. They're going to force the issue 3 wide with the 0-3. Last time they caught Sandfer, we had a 5-wide situation, and Levi McIntyre again seems to be the driver held up by Sandfer. Oh, what is Charles doing? Is he trying to get to pit road? Oh my goodness, he's not keeping his car in one lane. And everyone's having to guess. Oh my goodness, he almost crowded Benny Watson into the wall right there. Having to give room to Zach Rogers. We were nearly 4 wide on the crooked front straightaway. We are 4 wide behind him there. Matthew Rodriguez had to lift as Baker, Qualls, Rodriguez, and Shelton were 4 wide through 1 and 2. And Shelton's a teammate to Sandfer, and she's the one that lost the most positions out of all that. So there were obviously no team orders for the 0-3 being a pick for his teammates. And now Chris Dallerton's getting caught. Lopez is doing a very good job getting around this traffic and being able to maintain the race lead. Now we mentioned Jordan Lopez has had a bit of a struggle to start out the year. Lopez, the defending champion of this series, but he comes into this race 22nd in points. Las Vegas was a good run for him last week, helped him pick up 23 spots in the standings. Or make that 13 spots, rather. I was looking at the wrong driver. But he needs to find victory lane to ensure that he is going to at least defend his title from 1 year ago. Dylan Young going to move by rookie Brad Stover there into second. Very impressive run for Brad Stover. His first career start here in the Duracell Cup Series, and that car has been up in the top 10 all night long. Only one other driver. Oh, we had a spin on the front straightaway. Is the caution out? It is. Caution's out. And we're going to have a shootout to finish this race out now. And it looked like it might have been Nathan Ormond in the 45 that brought this yellow flag out. Ryan Brommer's going to stay. I think he's now 2 laps down. He was ahead of the leaders at the line, so he will get to go around the leaders and keep that lap. And now it's decision time. These drivers are all on pit road just past the halfway point of this race, so they should be good to go on fuel, but who wants to come to pit lane, give up the track position, and get some fresh tires? As we're going to be probably restarting somewhere around 5 laps to go. Watching the 38 of Lopez, he is not going to duck to pit lane, and everyone behind him is going to follow suit. Everybody, at least up at the front, is going to stay out. And there is Ormond in the 45, the Holiday Inn Dodge Challenger, a lot of damage. He appears to be the only one. I wonder if maybe he and the 9 of Ryan Brommer could have very well gotten together to bring out this caution and set us up for this shootout. Let's go back and find out. Defending champ Jordan Lopez out in front, getting ready for what may be the most exciting restart so far here this season in the Duracell Cup Series. Here it was. Nathan Ormond was running 31st at the time. Gets a big run here on Ryan Brommer, the lap machine. I don't think Brommer knew the closing rate that Nathan Ormond had on him. Ormond tried to go around the outside. I think Brommer was trying to move up to get out of the way. Ooh, Carter Friesen's going to slap the wall as he had to avoid these guys. Some more damage to the right side of his Wendy Chevrolet. And Nathan Ormond was running on the lead lap, but he was off the pace. And a lot more damage sustained to his race car. Same for Ryan Brommer. Nathan Ormond's another driver who is struggling to start out the season. Dropped 14 spots in the standings after Las Vegas last week. 34th in points coming into this one. And lost a spot there to Carter Friesen, dropping him back to 32nd as a damaged race car. Has not come to pit road, though, so if that car's all used up, he's going to use up what's left of it to try and finish out this race. Nobody out of the race after the incident we just saw, so let's set the stage for you. Lights are out atop the pace car. We're going back green on lap 62 of 65. It will be 4-lap shootout to finish out tonight's race. It is Fords at the front. Lopez, the leader. Dylan Young, second. Jesse Turner in third. Those are all out of different organizations. Then you got the lap machine of Mitchell Collins, who is up to speed, but he is currently 1 lap down in the 33rd position. Brad Stover is going to line up in 4th. Michael Norman 5th. 6th will be J Millz. 7th will be Adam Garcia and Austin LaPlante in 8th. Taylor Gerdes in his debut, 9th place right now. Levi McIntyre in 10th. I think we've got about 7 Fords up in the top 10 here for this restart. Samet Ozcon will be 11th, 12th Phil Parker, V Almariego 13th, 14th Kyle Mathews, 15th Ryan Acosta. The rest of the top 20 are T Wright, Ryan Butcher, Carson Gum, Cole Deaver, and J Qualls. But don't count out some of these guys outside the top 20. With the runs we've seen drivers be able to get here, someone outside of the top 20 could work their way from the back to the front here in these final 4 laps, provided the caution doesn't come out again before we see the white flag, as Jordan Lopes gets us back underway here tonight at Atlanta. Green flag in the air, 4 laps to go. And there's some drivers back there darting out of line already, trying to make some moves. They got to make them quickly if they're back there. Up here at the front, maybe you can wait a little bit. Dylan Young doesn't want to wait. He's looking for the top position here down the back straightaway. Turner with a big run. He thinks about 3 wide, and somehow Lopes was able to hold Dylan Young off for the moment. They're 3 wide further back. Norman way up top side as Adam Garcia passes him and J Millz. Moving up to the 7th position, here's Young trying again with 3 laps to go. He's got the inside advantage into turn 1. Jussie Turner now in the 3rd position, waiting to see what happens. Behind them, they're side by side. Stover and the lap machine of Collins. Stover in the 4th spot, now looking for 3rd on Turner. Can't get there. Dylan Young and Lopes still side by side through 3 and 4 for the race lead. 2 laps to go this time around. Brad Stover trying to pick up a win as a rookie. Adam Garcia back there looking for his first career win. Somehow, Lopes has been able to make that outside line work. They're still side by side for the lead between the 2 and the 38. Down the back straightaway, Young finally clears for the spot, but here comes Stover. Big run in the 80 car. Levi McIntyre with him as well. They're still 3 wide further back. White flag will be in the air this time around. Dylan Young was a 3-time winner last season, looking for his first win this year, but Brad Stover, as a rookie in his debut, looking to find victory lane. Levi McIntyre looking to be the spoiler. He's following in the tire tracks. Will he make it 3 wide? Will McIntyre? Can he get to the left rear corner panel of Stover? Dylan Young on that outside line with help. This could be a photo finish at Atlanta. Young on the top side. Stover on the bottom. Off turn 4. Who's going to win the battle to the line? Young's got the advantage. Dylan Young is going to win here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 8 100ths, 3 100ths officially at the line. Rookie Brad Stover will bring it home second, but it is a photo finish tonight at Atlanta with Dylan Young taking his first checkered flag of Season 4. And I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden on that final 4-lap shootout, the outside line actually had momentum. It's been inside line, every single corner that's gotten the advantage. But Jordan Lopes was side by side with Dylan Young for a number of those laps, and Dylan Young on the outside line was able to hold off Brad Stover off of 4 coming to the start-finish line. Was it the fact these drivers were out there on worn tires? Was that the reason that the second groove came in here in the final 4 laps? I don't know. But it certainly made for an exciting finish, and Dylan Young going to take an extra victory lap around the track as he is locked into the playoffs with this victory here this evening. 8th in the points coming to this one, 23 points out of the points lead. So I don't know if he'll take the points lead over into ISM next week, but he'll certainly be up there close to the points lead. And I want to just go back here and see if we can get a camera angle of that photo finish. It may not have been as close as it looked, but I think it was pretty close. Oh, that's a photo finish. That's about maybe 3 feet, 4 feet that Dylan Young won that battle. And how would it have been for Brad Stover in his rookie debut if he were to have gone to victory lane? But what an impressive showing for him in his very first Duracell Cup Series start. But he could not beat one of the best, Dylan Young, who picks up another victory. I think this could very well be either the 5th or 6th career Duracell Cup Series victory for Dylan Young, as he will take the checkered flag tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, about a stone's throw away from his home state of Florida, here in Georgia. Stover with second. Lopes, who led us to the green for that final restart, will finish in 3rd. His teammate Levi McIntyre in 4th. And Michael Norman, who I think could very well be the points leader heading into ISM next week, is going to bring it home with a top 5 run. It's his first top 5 of the season. Austin LaPlante, great run for him. He'll get 6th. Phil Parker brings it home in 7th. Parker, last week, picked up 20 spots in the standings, up to 18th. He will continue to climb in the points. Another driver with impressive debut, Taylor Gerdes, going to bring it home in 8th. Jesse Turner was 9th, and Adam Garcia is going to bring it home in the 10th position. That should be good enough for Garcia to find himself 2nd in the points heading into next week. After his win last week at Las Vegas, Ryan Butcher brings it home in 11th, Ryan Acosta in 12th, 13th for Jose Millz, 14th for Vince Almariegos, 15th Carson Gum. Rest of the top 20 were James Qualls, Kyle Mathews, Samet Ozkan, Benny Watson, and Zach Rogers. You look on down through the remainder of the finishing results. Another driver making his debut tonight, Arthur Xavier. We didn't really mention his name much this evening. He'll finish in the 27th position. We had a total of 32 cars finish on the lead lap. Nathan Ormond was the last of those. Collins, Gardner, Cole, and Brommer all finished 1 lap down. Charles Sandfer 2 laps down. And Chris Dollerton finished 4 laps down and 38th. He did manage to pick up a couple of positions there with being able to continue on. But this is not good, at least for Chris Dollerton, trying to keep himself in the top 30 in points after his victory at Manassas. But, of course, he has 4 starts now. He has only 1 championship provisional left, and he'll have to make at least 5 more starts by racing his way into these events. Drivers that did not make it to the conclusion of this race, Matt Haas, Jack Mitchell, Jacob Thibodeaux, the pole sitter, and William Brock. Mitchell came into this race the points leader. He will certainly not be leaving Atlanta as the points leader here tonight. Dylan Young, though, with the victory, his first of the season. It is the third win of the season for the Blue Ovals. Right now, they are 3 for 4 in going to victory lane. Ryan Butcher, the only non-Ford manufacturer that's gone to victory lane with his Toyota last week at Las Vegas. Next week, we go to the ISM Speedway, and ISM's got an interesting storyline that we have followed up on ever since last season. S3 Motorsports is 3 for 3 in their drivers going to victory lane. Jessica Shelton, Kyle Mathews, and Charles Sandfer all have victories there. Will we see one of them go back to victory lane, or can we go 4 for 4 with their teammate J Deaver maybe picking up his first career win? There's going to be another 41 drivers in the field that want to deny him that chance, and there's going to be another 38 drivers that are going to try and knock the S3 Motorsports cars out of victory lane, but it should be a wild one in the desert next week. But thank you all for tuning in to tonight's race from Atlanta. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We have shown your full official results. Dylan Young is your winner here this evening. We're going to show you your point standings now heading into ISM next week. Until then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its Best. We'll see you guys next week at Phoenix.